You ever notice how one comment, one memory, one little situation can set you off? I mean, just looking at the person, hearing their name, seeing a place, it can set you off pretty bad. Yeah, really, really, really bad. I have a question I want to pose to you today. An easy question, I would say, but this is time for you to do some self searching. You know how I get down. The question I'll have to pose to you, if that has happened to you before, are you triggered or are you growing? In this episode, you're going to find a difference and a balance between being triggered and the growth process. Is it necessarily a balancing act? Is it one or the other? Or is it something that is leading you to something greater? The last time we talk about changing. So if we're going to change, let's take this and walk it one piece at a time. Because sometimes the very thing that's irritating you is actually what God is using to develop you. Let's talk about it. When we talk about being triggered, most people immediately think of pain or offense. And that's real. That's a fact. That's factual. Triggers are emotional reactions tied to unresolved experiences, no matter whether it's a loss of a relationship, loss of a job, loss of possessions, loss of a loved one. Triggers do exist. But let's be honest, sometimes we label everything as trauma or triggering when, if you were to be really honest, it's just conviction, growth, or accountability knocking at our front door. You know that word accountability is that thing that fits everybody, but nobody wants to wear it. It looks good on everybody, but nobody wants to sport that outfit. That's just my thing, but But I've learned that being triggered isn't always a bad thing. Nah, sometimes the thing that triggers us is actually the greatest mirror. Let me tell you about 3 different things when it comes down to being triggered that just may help you along this road, right? Number 1, triggers reveal what's still tender. They expose where healing is needed. And if someone or something keeps striking that same nerve, maybe, just maybe, that's a telltale sign that that's a wound and not the person. Because this is what I found out. Triggers can be set off by anyone or anything. And often we let loose or unleash on the person for bringing up such a trigger, but we never deal with the actual wound that they hit. So triggers can often reveal a tender spot in our life. But then number 2, every reaction is actually information. What you talking about, Henderson? You sound like you just rambling off. No, check this out. Before you clap back and shut down when that trigger is hit, ask yourself this question. What is the moment trying to teach me about me? That's a moment. That's a very strong question, because of course it's easy to just ramble off. It's easy just to clap back. It's easy just to pop off on anybody that hit that trigger. But what is this moment trying to teach me about me? What have I not dealt with that this moment is really trying to show me? Because growth requires awareness, and awareness often comes through discomfort. You don't believe me? I know that there's a pair of shoes that was in your closet that's quite cute. You enjoyed those shoes, but guess what? Your feet grew a little bit and you no longer can fit them. I tell you what, try to slide your feet in them and see how bad they hurt. It's a part of that awareness piece that lets you know that, yeah, you can't fit those no more. Or, your favorite shirt, it looks great on the hanger. When you put that outfit together, it looked amazing when you held it up, right? It looked really, really, you knew you were going to get them. You know they were going to turn their heads. But when you put that shirt on that once fit, you got like this weird Winnie the Pooh thing kind of going. I'm not talking about you. I'm not body shaming. I'm a big guy myself. However, that shirt don't quite fit. And the truth and reality is it's not hitting the same. And that's simply because awareness often comes through the avenue of discomfort. seeing what you don't want to see, dealing with what you don't want to deal with. But again, if triggering reveals what's tender, and every reaction is information. Number 3, not all triggers mean trauma. Some actually mean transformation. Well, what are you talking about? Sometimes you have to deal with what has set you off to realize that you're actually in a place of what we talked about last time in that changing process, right? Sometimes uncomfortable feeling is just your old self resisting the new version of what you're trying to become, what you're growing into, what God is setting you out to be. There's an argument that's consistently going on. We talked about it last time, that you are trying to become, and your old self is saying, let's stay right here because it's comfortable. But again, not all triggers, not everything that will pop you off or set you off is necessarily from a traumatic experience. Sometimes it's just a fight of old self and new self trying to take dominion and dominance. Those are kind of those situations. Things that you really need to take a good look at, because truth of the matter is not all triggers equal that trauma. Or take it like this, right? You ever realize how some people, or these people that always say, I don't like drama, always find themselves in the middle of something dramatic? Oh, no, I don't deal with that drama. I don't do that drama. But every time you look around, they right in, I'm talking in the middle of the most dramatic situations you could ever think. It is not because the world is triggering them. Don't get me wrong. It's not. It's not because the world is triggering. It's because the unhealed parts are asking for attention. The person that is consistently saying that they don't like drama and always find themselves in drama, there's pieces of them that they have not dealt with just yet, that are crying out for attention, and it literally is attractive for drama. Unresolved issues literally bring drama right into your front door, regardless of whether you want it or not. That's just what it is. So again, the question at hand is it a trigger or is it growth? You be the decider of this one, right? But if I have to talk about triggers, then the growth side has to make more sense than just the triggers themselves, because when you look at it holistically, you got to look at it like this. Growth is an uncomfortable situation, because growth is a telltale sign of what you've outgrown. You know, we talked about the shoes and the shirt. I don't see me at, the age I'm at now still in stride rights. That wouldn't even be right. It wouldn't even look right, because growth is uncomfortable. It shows uncomfortability because it exposes what I've outgrown. If I try to stick my foot in a stride right, I'm talking about pain the rest of my night. But that's just what it is. You can't heal and stay the same. Nah, you can't. You can't be two of the same. Nah, you can't be the dual-edged coin. You can't be the double-sided coin. You can't heal and stay the same. That's not called growth. That's called denial. Because a lot of us are saying that we're over it, we've done with it, we've moved on from it. But the truth of the matter is that if it's still triggering you, you have not done any of the former. It's denial that you're in. And I'm not talking about the river in Egypt. I'm talking about the part of your life that says, and the part of your life that you're convincing yourself that you're over what you're not. You refuse to deal with that, and it's a part of the growth. You cannot grow unless you confront these things. There's 3 things I can tell you about that. Y'all know I like this number 3. This number 3 be getting off right. So check this out. This is a good one for you. Number 1, growth requires confrontation. Now, I love to hear people say, I'm that non-confrontational kind of people. I don't do that confrontation thing. But I have news for you. A lot of problems are still existing in life because we don't confront those issues. And mind you, the biggest disparity in the home is, what happens in this house stays in this house. I understand the need for privacy, but there are so many unhealed traumas that are going on in those particular confounding rules that we have not grown out of the nature in which we have been encapsulated by that very rule. We don't grow. It's not with others, but it's with yourself. You got to confront you. That's one of the biggest pieces. A lot of people think that it's always running up against somebody else or your opposition. And sometimes, truth be told, your biggest opposition really is you. Oh, you didn't believe that? You tell me again. I've heard this many times. Like sometimes, the greatest person that you can really talk to is yourself. And people think you crazy when you're talking to yourself, but sometimes things need to literally be talked out in order for you to really get an understanding of them, right? But again, that confrontation is not with other people, but within yourself, because you cannot fix what you're not willing to face. It's not going to happen. I promise you it won't happen. You say what you want to. I tell you what, let that oil light come on. And you keep riding on it. And you keep riding on it. And you keep riding on it. I promise you at one point, you're going to go to start that car and that entire motor's going to lock up because you did not address when that check engine light came on. When that oil light came on, it was time to go get an oil change. But then we often end up spending more time and over the budgetary resource of thought process, our livelihoods, even sometimes into finance, because we didn't confront an issue when it came up into our face. Because this is what I found out. When you avoid having hard conversations with yourself, you literally put yourself in cycles that will never end. And we're very prone, of course, especially in the church, but we consistently talking about generational curses and cycles and that kind of situation. But I have a break-in for both of them. You have to confront it in order for it to break. Because if we keep sweeping these things under the rug, we are literally locked in the same places that we have been for years upon years. And it's not the fact that it's attached to your bloodline, it's actually attached to your choice. You keep avoiding it, hard conversations with yourself, you're going to remain in that cycle. So number one, again, growth requires confrontation. Well, number two, growth also can coexist with grief. And a lot of people, this one kind of messes with you a little bit. It'll mess with your thought process because truth be told, when it comes down to growth and grief, they're actually synonymous with each other because there's no one who's ever written a rule that says you can't mourn the old you while celebrating the person that you're becoming. I know like the relationship was good at this moment, but now you're on to bigger and better things because you were mistreated in that last relationship. I know they laid you off this job. I know it was a good job. You enjoyed the coworkers that you was with. They didn't really have a reason to let you go, but there's another door that's opening on the other side. Of course, it's uncertainty in the future, but there's a synonymous energy and a balancing scale that you really can use if you learn how to grieve what you had, but celebrate at the same time, even more so, what you can have. That's the duality of it. It can coexist at the same time. A lot of people just say, get over it. No, traumatic experiences in your life are not that easy to get over. When you lose something, it can trigger grief. It doesn't matter if it's a loved one, if it's a job or relationship. If you lost $1 bill, you'll grieve over that dollar and drive yourself crazy looking for $1 bill because losing something would enact that emotion. So they can coexist. But this is what I found out. Letting go of what was is also a part of that healing. It's a part of the healing process. Moving on into growth. So again, number one, growth requires confrontation. Growth and grief can coexist, but this is one that'll mess you up if you allow it to, because if you got this far into the video, you kind of into this conversation, right? Healing isn't a linear process. A lot of people think that healing is a straight line. That is not the case. Healing can't be a straight line because some days you're healed, some days you feel great, some days you're trying to just make it out the bed. Some days you are excited about what the day is to bring, and some days you just want to sit back and pray for rain because the sun is shining too bright. Sometimes you feel like a nut, sometimes you that's Almond Joy Mounds. That's old candy. Like, I'm starting to show my age. Don't worry about that. But it's not necessarily a linear process, and that is okay to have both of those days. Because growth doesn't always feel good, but I found out that it's always worth it. It's going to be some highs, it's going to be some lows. But this is what I heard. If all in perspective, where you sit determines what you really will see. Now, this is the kick. This is how you reset yourself. Because if you learn how to navigate in between that linear place, the unlinear place, shall I say, and the highs and the lows, you can appreciate in both seasons where you are. Because this is what I said, the sun can't shine always, But people say that, and that kind of sounds depressing, because if the sun continuously shines, it causes a drought. Well, every day is not a rainy day. Well, if you go too long with rain, it floods. So you need the highs, you need the lows to balance yourself and keep you in the place of being just simply a human being. So again, growth requires some confrontation. Growth and grief can coexist, and healing is not a linear process. It's not. But this is the fun part, right? How is it like in these moments, in these different devices of what's going on in that particular case, we find that when God starts pruning us and starts clipping some of these dead spaces away from us, this is what happens. We start to tears. Oh Lord, why is this happening to me? Oh my God, I didn't do anything to deserve it. Check this out. And God's sitting there like, I just clipped the dead spot, because the sun was trying to shine on this spot that wasn't getting nourished as well. So I had to clip off this dead part in order for the sun to shine to keep you growing. Because I'm not punishing you, I'm actually positioning you. Oh. You're not being punished because you were triggered. You're actually being positioned for better growth. My grandmother used to grow, my mom used to grow these ivy plants. And you say ivy can grow anywhere depending on where you put it, but it grows better when you have it somewhere in sunlight. It needs that nutrient. It needs that. And sometimes even going through a trigger, it's not that you're going through a punishment. Nah, it's a pruning process. You're not being punished, you're being repositioned. Remember that part. That'll hold on to you. So, if there is definitely a side of triggers, a side of growth, I gotta have a resolve to come to all of this. That's just what it comes down to. If you want to grow, you gotta learn how to manage these moments. Use these moments not to beat you down, but to coach your growth. Your triggers can either control your day or they can coach your growth. Your triggers can either control your day or they can coach your growth. Well, I got 3 more things. I told you I like this number 3. 3 is a very, very workable number. It's a doable number, something that you can always keep with you, right? But number 1, pause before you react, because emotional intelligence starts with stillness. Not loudness, not boisterous, not blowing your chest out, but emotional intelligence starts with stillness. When you feel triggered, don't rush to respond. Breathe, reflect, decide. That's a number 3 again, I know. Breathe, reflect, and then decide. And then number 2, once you pause before you react, name it to tame it. Yeah, I feel like rhyming today, Dr. Seuss. Name it to tame it. When you can articulate what you feel, you can take back authority over it. Feelings are unnamed, feelings that are unnamed will dominate your behavior. So when you can't articulate the fact that you're mad, you know the symphony. You already know how that goes. You say, "Are you okay?" And I'm fine. Are you okay? I'm good. No. Name that. Identify that, because this is what I found out. I said it earlier, what you refuse to face, you can never fix. So if you're mad, it's okay to say, I'm not really happy right now. I'm upset. I'm frustrated. I'm bothered. I'm name that emotion, because only then, if you name it, you'll be able to tame it. You'll be able to get over that emotion. You got to do that. You have to do that. So again, pause before reacting. That's number 1. Number 2, name it to tame it. But then number 3, transform reaction into reflection. Ask yourself this question: what did that moment reveal about me? Sometimes your next level is locked in your last reaction. What did that say about me when I reacted like that? Because sometimes we find too much satisfaction in popping off and doing what we do. I done said my piece and I did that. And then we never often go back and reflect. But this is how a lot of people have gotten in trouble, because of their reactions. And then you, of course, with your thought process, in your anger, have the audacity, nerve, and unmitigated gall to say that somebody else overreacted when you didn't even consider how you responded in that last moment. What did that reveal about you? It should have revealed to you a couple of things. Number 1, that you still are not over what you said you were over. Number two, that your reactions have control and master over you. And number three, that you are literally a loose cannon ready to pop off at any given moment. It's interesting. Like, I'm gonna tell you, like, this is the last one, and I promise I'm on my way out of here. But you ever scroll on social media and you get mad about something random you see? Like think about it. There's people right now in the comments section of somebody's post that they don't even know, 3 times mad about something that they have nothing to do with. You don't even know that person. You mad about a post about a baby mama, and you got a happily married family, kids are being loved, taken care of, and you really mad over a post that doesn't even apply to you. You literally have taken your feelings and put them in a situation that does nothing for you but set you off for nothing. Because there's no gratification in the end. I'm just saying what I'm saying. You did? Oh, well then that's a sign. It's not about that person that you reading the post about that you really got upset about. It's about you not being able to contain, nor maintain, nor tame your emotions. Triggers or growth. So here's the bottom line. Being triggered isn't always the enemy. It's not always the problem. Staying the same, though, that's your biggest enemy. Yeah. Your triggers can become teachers if you stop running from them and begin to embrace them. So the next time something sets you off, pause and ask, is this trauma or is this growth? Because sometimes what feels like offense can actually be opportunity. You can't heal what you keep avoiding. And you can't grow if you keep defending your wounds. This week, my challenge is simple. Simple challenge, right? I challenge you to notice your triggers. Not to shame yourself, not to beat yourself down, because you know we get into that mode too. Don't beat yourself up on it. But understand yourself, because awareness is the birthplace for transformation. Until next time, keep unpacking the real, one layer at a time.